You don't want none! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Ross the Tar Heel, and welcome to another portal update as of 8 p.m. on December 21st, 2024. And we've got two new commitments for the men in Carolina Blue. It's not necessarily going to be a long video, not too much to necessarily report on tonight that we can actually report on, if you will, but we will talk about the two new commitments for the men in Carolina Blue. And the first one will be the 6'2", 305-pound defensive lineman Terry Nwabuisi Eala, who is a 3-star from Raven Gap, Georgia. Or at least that's where he plays his high school football, because Terry is originally from Germany. He's the number 171 ranked defensive lineman in the country, and he's the number 1,507 ranked player overall. Now, interestingly enough, Terry is the younger brother of Baltimore Raven Chris Eala, so he comes from a good pedigree. Now, Terry had 48 tackles, 3 sacks, 5 TFLs, and 15 quarterback pressures with a pass deflection last year as Raven Gap. They won their state championship game, which is great. Kid's part of a winning team. Now, Terry was committed to Wake Forest before obviously Dave Clawson stepped down from the head coaching position, which enabled him to be released. And according to Terry, he knew exactly where home was right after that, as he committed shortly thereafter. Some of the teams or programs that were recruiting Terry is obviously the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, App State, Central Michigan, and Charlotte, among others. Now, very big body that I think will greatly benefit from being in a college weight training / cardio / diet program. Obviously has the genetics with his brother being in the National Football League. But I do want to see, obviously he's going to have to work on the explosion at the snap. And I like to see those hips a little bit lower to the ground to help with said explosion. But those are all things that will get ironed out at the next level with the proper lower body and core workouts, man. Good project piece for the Heels. Really excited for this kid to be a Tar Heel, especially considering the fact that he is the brother of an NFL player. Now, the second commit that we have today is a huge pickup. Camori House, the nation's second-ranked linebacker in the portal, is coming from the West Coast to Carolina. Now, here's what I want you to understand, okay? This guy is on the smaller end for sure, okay? Listed at 6 foot, 213-pound, former 3-star linebacker from Bellflower, California, and he is the 88th rated overall portal player, and he was the 86th ranked linebacker in the country coming out of high school. He totaled 317 defensive snaps, 35 tackles, 4 PBUs, an interception, and a forced fumble as a freshman, and that's obviously him playing Big Ten football. Now, according to Greg Biggins, House is a little undersized as a backer. I think that's an understood 213 pounds and 6 foot. Smaller guy, right? But he plays fast. He's a big hitter and has a ton of positional versatility. He runs like a safety, covers a lot of ground, and shows the kind of range and physicality to play multiple spots in a defense. And you can look over at the Washington Huskies, Locked On Washington Huskies. They have a whole segment about how this was a huge loss for the Washington Huskies. Now, it's always interesting to look at the other offers that these guys received. Arizona State, playoff team. Florida, who beat the brakes off of Tulane. Michigan, 2 years ago they won a natty. Oklahoma, Oregon's the number 1 team in the country, playoff team. UCLA, USC. Now, House committed to Washington, ranked as a 3-star prospect, like I said, out of Bellflower, California, choosing the Huskies out of high school over Auburn, Deion Sanders in Colorado, Notre Dame, Tennessee, and Texas. So a lot of bigwigs were looking for his services. Now, one of the interesting side notes from this whole thing is the fact that Steve Belichick, all right, the son of head coach Bill Belichick, is the defensive coordinator at Washington. So I think that that's about as clear of an indication as you can get that the mullet is coming to Chapel Hill, baby. And that will move North Carolina's class after Camori House committed to 57th overall with a transfer rank of 19th, right? So we're steadily moving up. The Bill Belichick effect it's happening. We're seeing the guys come in, and it will be very interesting to see what happens when these playoff teams, kids hit the portal after losses, i.e. Indiana, Clemson, SMU. They've already taken an L. They're coming home. Their guys got 5 days to be in the portal if they choose to be in the portal. And then you got teams like Tennessee and Ohio State that are going to be playing later on tonight at the time of this video. So could Carolina be eyeballing some of the guys from those teams? We'll just have to wait and see, bro. But your boy will keep my daggone ears pinned to the stinking wall. And I'll let you know if I hear anything. So if you haven't already, please do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It is always a great day to be a Tar Heel. And we'll catch you on the next one, baby.